stepping into this exhibit to feed the animals that you're looking at right now. But ahead of that, I want to make sure that everybody, including the bat rays themselves here, get the most out of this experience. So with that, we'll come a few big favors from all of you. I'm going to ask everybody to take their hands out of the water from now until our feeding is complete. So this will go from a bat ray touch pool to a no-touch pool. That said, folks, I still want you to stick around because we're going to be talking about a lot of the amazing behaviors, adaptations that these animals have for surviving in their natural habitat, as well as some really cool feeding behaviors as well. So once again, folks, if we can make sure our hands are out of the water from now until the feeding is complete. The essence, the juices swirling in there, almost like putting an apple pie on the windowsill. Now this will also give you all the chance to take a look at what exactly is inside this tray. It's a nice 3-course meal of chopped baked fish, squid, and shrimp. I just mentioned there's a very specific order to this. So I'm going to start with the baked fish first, because it's not necessarily their favorite part of their meal. It's actually more like their vegetables. So I have to give them it first before the stuff that they really love. Has anyone else here had to eat their vegetables before the rest of their meal, and especially before dessert? Yeah, I was raised the exact same way, and this is just to make sure they have a nice, well-rounded diet. It's just as nutritious as the rest of their meal here. But like I said, if I gave them the stuff they really want to eat, they would refuse everything else. Yeah, now that is actually a great adaptation these animals have for surviving out in the wild. They will then be able to defend themselves instead with a venomous barb or stinger that normally rests at the base of that tail here. So these animals are indeed a type of stingray. Every 6 to 12 months, not only for our safety, but for theirs as well. You see those barbs will grow continuously throughout their lives, so almost like our fingernails or our hair. And doing this, make sure that they don't grow too cumbersome. There have been some rays with up to 3 stingers at once, and growing almost as long as those tails you're looking at. So it's almost like having their own built-in dentist's office or nail salon. There we go. All right. Now, as I'm tossing this food out here, I want you to pay attention to how these animals interact with it. You see our rays are going to be coming over to it, hovering over it for just a few seconds, and then you'll probably see it disappear. These animals have their mouths located on the underside of their bodies, and we like to call them the Roombas of the sea, because they behave very much like a little vacuum cleaner. Oh, perfect demonstration right there. Now once their powerful snout is able to detect the food sitting on the bottom here, they will then suck it up into their mouth, and it will be crushed between 2 grinding plates made up of their teeth. Now with that, folks, it does mean that they are quite the messy eaters, since they can't chew it as efficiently as, say, we can. So sometimes they have to actually spit it out, suck it back in, and just repeat that process until it is nice and finely grinded. But in the case there are a lot of scraps, that's where their neighbors also come in. You may have noticed that there's more than just bat rays in this touch pool, and that's because, just like all of our other exhibits in the aquarium, we wanted to recreate a community for you to take a look at. Alright, wow, that was very good. I already got through the first portion of our meal, that baked fish. It looks like they're already starting to swarm it. Excellent. Now I'm going to be moving on to the middle course. This is almost like the grains of the meal, the pasta, the potatoes. This is some nice, extremely sustainable California market squid, or calamari for my seafood fans out there. It is just as good as the food that you can get at Fisherman's Wharf or up Cannery Row, just minus the bread comes in the air fryer. These rays belong to an exclusive family of animals that even our shovel-nosed guitarfish is part of, and those are called elasmorays. That includes things like rays, skates, sharks, and even our round rays hanging out over here. Years of our planet's history. Now we mainly know that because of things like the fossil record showing us a lot of that change over time and where these animals may have originated. But the thing is, you're not going to find a whole skeleton of these rays or sharks. You only find their jawbones, their teeth. That's because cartilage does not preserve well in the dirt, in the sediment. So the only reason we know about things like a big old shark called Megalodon are because we have found their dental record. Move on to the final portion of this meal. This is the stuff they really love. It's like the prime rib. Oops, the dessert. And this is some nice, tasty shrimp. Do we have any shrimp fans with us tonight? Oh yeah, you and these batteries have amazing taste. And you're going to see them gobble it up even faster than all the other morsels that I've given them before here. Like I said, if I gave it to them first, they would just refuse everything else. I can definitely relate.
complicated for me. All right, so we have 3 female otters on exhibit. We have right in the middle there is Ruby. She's about to come out onto the deck, and she's easy to recognize. She is the darkest otter on exhibit, and she's also our youngest and smallest otter. And on the left we have Ivy. She's our blondest otter. She's got a very blonde head and blonde fur going all the way down her chest. And then on our far right we have Rosa. She also has a very blonde head, but she's not quite as blonde on her chest as Ivy is. Rosa is our oldest otter on exhibit and currently on record at any aquarium. She just turned 24 last month. I know.